Alright guys, we got yet another EKG, so let's see how good of a job they did. Alright, so the claim is that the P waves are upright uniform lead 2. Let's take a look over here. Alright, this is indeed lead 2. This is not a P wave. Well, watch out for that. A lot of people say, oh, this is a P wave, it's the first thing I see. No, that is not actually a P wave. So this right here is a T wave. Make sure that you know what your waves are. So for example, here's a P wave, here's a P wave, right? And so all these P waves look pretty much the same. Now, if you look over here, like, well, no, it does not look the same. Well, yes, you're correct, because look right here, we're in AVL, this is in lead 2, right? Now, if we look down here, right, unfortunately, we don't have any rhythm lead, right? So this isn't lead 2, lead 2, lead 2, lead 2 all the way through. So that is going to make your life a little bit harder. Right? I'm sorry, it is what it is. All right. So next thing what we have right here is, our P waves right here are upright uniform lead 2. Unfortunately, lead 2 isn't very long. So if you want to take a look and see if I'm going to do a better job, right, we can look at AVL, they're uniform. When we look in V2 over here, they're uniform. When we look at V5, they're uniform over here, right? Because this mark right here is showing you, hey, this is exactly when my viewpoint changed, right? And so aside from any viewpoint changes, right, we're seeing that our P waves are uniform, right? It's like going at Walmart. They're wearing the Walmart uniform. Then they're going over here. They got the Target uniform. They got the Subway uniform over here, right? They got the Pizza Hut uniform over there, right? We keep changing our stores, our uniforms keep changing, but everybody's wearing a uniform. Does that make sense? So that's what's going on over there. All right, next. All right, so what we got is the PR interval is 0.16 seconds and is constant, right? They're not looking for anything amazing or crazy, right? They want to make sure that, you know what, you're not getting longer drop. Wanky Bach. That's literally what they're looking for. All right. Outside of that, we can deal with a fair amount of variation before we get upset. All right. So when we look at this right here, right, here's the start of our P wave. We're at 0. We haven't gone anywhere. 0.04, 0.08, 0.12, 0.16. If we want to be super duper accurate, we're right there kind of in the middle. So we could say 0.14. Realistically, you're gonna a half of a box is as good as you're going to get. All right. So they said 0.16, good enough for me. I could definitely see why they would do that. Right? They haven't learned the Dr. Perkins method yet, right? Blowing way up. All right. So 0.08 seconds, narrow monomorphic. All right. Let's see if they're telling the truth or if they've gone crazy. All right. Let's see what you got right here. So here's your QRS, right? There's actually no Q wave right here. This isn't going down. We just see the R, and we don't really have much of an S wave. You see how we're going slightly up over here? So that technically is a slight S wave right there. So if we go right here, we're at 0, 1, half, 1.5 little boxes, right? So 0.06, right? If you're not sure, you can always look up the lead above it, because these are talking about the same heartbeat right here. And so if we look right here, you can see an ever so slight going down here. That's just an ever so slight Q wave. So if you want to call this 0, 1, 2 little boxes, right? 0.08, right? So she said 0.08. Yes, that's less than 0.12 seconds. So that's going to be narrow monomorphic, right? When we look at these QRSs, right? All these QRSs look the same. Well, they don't look the same over here. You're exactly right, because once again, we changed our viewpoint, right? So when we use this viewpoint, they all look the same. Well, look, it's changed. Well, yes, so is our viewpoint right here, right? So in this viewpoint, though, they all look the same, right? We went to Olive Garden. Well, look, it's changed. Well, yes, because now we're at Sam's Club, right? We changed our viewpoint. So when you change your viewpoint, you change what you view. Does that make sense? So yeah, this is indeed monomorphic. All the QRSs pretty much look the same as long as you keep the same viewpoint. All right, let's talk about the rhythm. She says that this is regular. All right, let's see if she's crazy or not. All right, so what you got is you got to count how many little boxes from here to here, right? Now, ideal is you'd have a lead down here and it would just lead two, lead two, lead two, lead two all the way through. Unfortunately, you don't have that. You don't have a rhythm lead, so your life is going to be a little bit harder. All right. So that being said, you're smart. You can figure it out. So we got 0. We haven't gone anywhere. All right. 5, 10, 15, just shy of 20. So we're actually 19. This is 20, 21, 22. So this is 22 little boxes, right? And we're allowed to be up to 3 little boxes different from the R to R, right? Here's the peak of the QRS. Here's the peak of the QRS. Okay, so now we go over here. And unfortunately, right, this is not the same viewpoint. It makes it a little bit harder. But fortunately, we didn't do anything like this, where it gets a little bit trickier when we go from up to down. All right, so what we do is, once again, peak to peak. What a gift right here on the crossbars. So 0, haven't gone anywhere. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21. 21 is well within 3 little boxes of 22, right? We can be as low as 19. We could have been as high as 25, and we'd still been within 3 little boxes of 22. So now over here, we're allowed to be as high as 18. As high as 24, as low as 18. So 0, haven't gone anywhere. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, right on the money. All right. So we're going to start off at 0, just to make our life easy. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. You could say 18. All right, we got 4 little boxes over here we didn't count. This is going to be 22, well within our 3-box range here. All right, so now, all right, this is the transition I was kind of hoping to avoid. So the way I get around when you see these crazy transitions is, once again, this is the exact same heartbeat, just different viewpoint. Does that make sense? So I'm going to use this one to make my life easier. Does that make sense? Because they're both pointing down. So 0, haven't gone anywhere. 5, 5, 10, 15. We're too shy right there. So we're at 18. And then we got to go over here where we haven't counted. 19, 20. Right? You could say 21 because this is looking closer to here than that. So anyways, 20, 21. Either way, we're still within that 3. All right. So down to down right here. We're at 0. We haven't gone anywhere. All right. 5, 10, 15, 20. And then 2 over here. We're at 22. All right. Down to down. All right. 5. So 0. We haven't gone anywhere. 5, 10, 15, 20, 22. All right. So let's see. 0. We haven't gone anywhere. Look, we're going down to up. I don't like doing these down-up transitions. Does that make sense? So is there a way that I could go down, down, or up, up? Well, let's look right here. Once again, kind of a down, up. This is less of a down, up. This looks more like a up, up. It's not perfect, but you know what? Of my 3 options, it looks like this is going to be as good as it's going to get. Does that make sense? All right. So let's see right here. 0, 5, 10, 15, 3 in. We're at 18 to get to that peak. 19, 20, 21, right? And even if we did over here, that'd be 22. We're still well within our zone. So it doesn't look like it's going to hurt anything, right? So 21. All right. So let me focus this again. There we go. All right, so 0, we haven't counted anything. 5, 10, 15. Looks like at 19 because we're 1 shy over there. 1, 2. That's going to be 21. All right. And going over here, 0, haven't counted anything yet. 5, 10, 15, 20. What a gift right on the crossbars. 21. So yeah, this is regular. At no point in time was the gap between the one RR and the next RR more than 3. So definitely regular, definitely a regular rhythm. And so they use 20 little boxes, right? And so what happens is I say, hey, how many times does 20 go into 1500? So 20 doesn't go into 1, 20 can't go into 15. All right, so I'm going to carry this down. 20 goes into 157 times, so that's 140. So that's 0, 1, and I'm going to carry down my next 0, so 100. So 20 goes to 100 5 times. So that's 100, and I get 0. So yeah, this is 75 beats per minute. They're a little bit confused as to what to call this. They call this NSR. No, it's NSR, not SNR, right? So normal sinus rhythm. So we'll keep their secret identity right there. So, very good job in terms of that one.